Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to talk about a topic that I know hits all of us close to home, and that is the crazy economic data that we're seeing and the price of food, the price of everything, and how it's impacting us as individuals, and how our government is actually lying to us about these statistics. Now, first and foremost, there's a website called Shadow Government Statistics. Google it. Highly recommend you look it up, but you can actually see, I believe his name is John Williams. He actually put our previous inflation measures and today's inflation measures. And over time, the government starts to exclude certain things from the CPI to fit their narrative. And what the actual inflation rate is actually much different than the real inflation rate, the one that you and I see and pay for. So, first and foremost, why do governments lie? Why don't they just tell the truth as it is, right? I mean, you can go to the grocery store and see that your pizzas have gone up 300%. You can easily see what used to be $4 or $5 is now 12, or you can see your canned beans went up from $1 a can up to $3 a can, 300% inflation. Why are the governments lying to us? And there's a lot of reasons behind that. First and foremost, under their watch, they don't want things to be looking more bleak for people. They don't want to be the cause or the reason why people's conditions are getting worse under their watch. So that's the first reason why governments lie. But the next reason is they want to get reelected. So they're doing everything they can to try to fudge the numbers, to try to make these adjustments in the data to show, hey, things are not that bad, look at the numbers. And when you really peel it back and you look at your prices as you see them, it's not as good as it looks. Governments lie because it suits their purpose. The statistics, they're actually, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're lying. They're just leaving out a lot of important information that are relevant to people like you and me. And so let's be real here, guys. Nothing is new under the sun, whether it's right or left, up or down, libertarian or fascist, whatever it may be. The point is, these hedonic adjustments have been happening over dozens of times over the past couple decades. And the thing is this, these adjustments, they warp the perception of what really is. For example, we just saw tomato juice, vegetable oils, and coffee just removed from the index. Well, think about this for a second. I know tomatoes and I would say tomatoes, maybe people aren't buying those as much, but vegetable oils and coffee, these are some of people's biggest things that they consume. Why are they leaving it out of the inflation or the CPI? That's because they're discontinuing that because they understand that it actually messes with them trying to fight inflation. So let's just say coffee hypothetically went up 10%. And the inflation rate in all other categories is going up, let's just say 2, 3, 4%. Well, coffee is an outlier. So what they're going to do is they're going to exclude it because it's going to warp the statistic. It's going to make it look like they're not achieving their goals and their targets as easily. So what the government does is they try to remove things that don't suit their narrative. So if you look at actually the CPI and the hedonic adjustments from the past, they actually got rid of new cars and trucks, housing, furniture, train fares, and a lot more. They are always adjusting things down. Well, the thing is this, cars and housing, those are two of people's biggest expenses. Those are removed from the CPI. Coffee, almost like 70% of Americans, guys, consume coffee on a daily basis. That is also excluded in the CPI now. And who knows, what if, and I know insurance actually, I believe it was car insurance is also excluded. But think about this. What if in the future, milk, eggs, and water are excluded? I mean, guys, think about how crazy this is for a second. They're excluding everything that doesn't suit their narrative. What they really should be doing, and hey, I love cheap money, I love easy money, I love an environment where things are easy. But look, things are not looking good right now, and they just keep kind of taking all these metrics and shoving them in a closet, eventually there's going to be no more metrics to remove. And they're also eroding the trust of their organization. Because if you keep removing everything and you say, hey, the inflation rate is only 3%, and everyone says, no, it's 300%, like, who are you going to believe? The person that looks at things with their own eyes or the government metric, right? So that is where I find this whole thing ridiculous. I mean, to be honest with you, I've never had faith in our government. And my faith is really eroding from our government now because it's just as clear as day that we're being lied to. And if we're being lied to on all this stuff, I mean, what else have we been told is now a lie, right? I mean, where does it stop, right? So, it's just one of those things where these adjustments, they're going to fool all the normies. All the normies will say, oh, inflation is down. It's only 3.5%. You got to be kidding me if you think inflation is only 3.5%. Come on. Yes, prices are slowing. Their increases are slowing. I get that. But they're still increasing, and they're increasing at a much higher rate than they're stating. So what they want to do is they want to fool the normies. They want to fool the mainstream. Because if they can fool the mainstream into buying a particular narrative, then maybe they will believe it, and maybe they'll vote for that party again. It hurts everyday shoppers and consumers. I just went to the store and my favorite pizza went up 30% just in the past week. And people would make the case, oh, it's that one company, or, oh, it's, the cost of cheese. Look, it was fixed at price for about $4 a pizza. Now it's $6. I'm getting so frustrated every time I go to the grocery store, guys, and I look and I see we are being lied to. This hurts people like us. It's one of those things is we got to opt out with the hardest money ever, the hardest money in the system. And for me, what I believe is the hardest money is Bitcoin. Because, and I'm not saying Bitcoin is the answer for everyone. For me, it is. But whether it's gold or silver or anything hard at all, you got to go towards that, because at the end of the day, we're being lied to. We are being lied to our faces, and it hurts us, guys. This hurts us so much. And, they can't mess with the Bitcoin chart. Yes, they have the ETFs. They can push the price down. Yes, they have access to a lot of the Bitcoin information that we do. But at the end of the day, they can't lie and tell us the price is one thing, it's not another. I have 20 or 30 different exchanges I can go to. And I don't even care about the price, because I understand one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, and that's being enforced by the network. I also understand 21 million Bitcoin is the hard cap. There's not going to be more than 21 million. I know that for a fact, because others in the network will enforce that. So we got to opt out with this hard money, and we got to realize that there's things that could be manipulated, like fiat, like stocks, like our inflation data. And there's things that can't be, and that is Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin is your Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the tip of the spear. As many of us know, it is one of the things that can't be manipulated and messed with. I think it is a positive or negative omen. And I do think it encapsulates how the market actually feels. It's the freest of markets. It's literally the freest of markets. And I love that about Bitcoin. But I also understand if we go through a recession, who knows? I mean, things could go down a little bit in the Bitcoin world. But I also am aware of what's the government going to do if we go in a recession. They're going to print money like crazy, give the stimulus out, and Bitcoin's price will go even higher. So it's just one of those things. If we're going to go by ice, banks will fail, things will go under. If we go by fire, inflation will go red hot, Bitcoin will rocket. Either way, whether you're in the banks or you're in, Bitcoin, banks are the worst place to be if we go through hyperinflation, because they're going to, like they do in Lebanon, like they do in many other countries, and Argentina, they will limit withdrawals. And if they would limit withdrawals, you can only get a small percentage of your money out every day. That's not cool. So just think about that. And, it is with this free market, for better or worse, we need freedom. We need freedom of the market to be able to see and allocate money as we wish, but we need that transparency on the ledger. And I'll tell you right now, with all this government manipulation of the statistics and everything, I'm surprised not everyone hasn't turned into a Bitcoiner. Because at the end of the day, we're all being hurt by this directly. And if we keep getting hurt by this, then, we're wasting our lives away. I mean, we're working hard for dollars and assets that are just being manipulated and eroded underneath us. I'd love to hear what you guys think. The government does hide this true economic data. Them taking off tomatoes, vegetable oils, and coffee may seem inconsequential or small, but I'm telling you right now, they've taken off dozens and dozens of things in the past, and they're going to keep taking off more in the future because it doesn't fit their narrative. And if you don't align with their narrative, then you are, one of the worst people to them, right? So speak up about this stuff. Share this podcast. Please be sure to support it. You guys are awesome. I enjoyed putting this one together. Stream some sats, like it. I'll catch you guys in the next one.